All right. So with that being said, man, today's going to be one of those long form episodes, and I got a guest in here, and I'm super excited to introduce him. This is a good friend of mine. Brother, go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
Hey, what's up? My name is Don Griffith Jr., founder of Fly Company, which stands for Freedom Loves You.
Oh, that is dope. I had no idea, man.
Yeah.
Fly?
Yes, sir.
Freedom Loves You.
Yeah,
that
that's what it
is
stands for.
powerful, bro. What made you come up with that?
Well, when I originally started the business, I got into it originally in wholesaling. And through wholesaling, I realized that my real passion was for actually like structuring the business and automating it. So through that, I realized that was the quickest way to get people freedom from what they love to do. So,
for sure, dude, because wholesaling is a tedious business, dude.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people aren't in the structural part because that's the hardest part.
Right.
They just want to see the money, but they don't want to see the system behind it, man. At what point in your real estate journey did you realize that that's where your strength was?
Man, I realized quick, like getting into it, I watched guys like you, a couple other guys, but mainly you. You actually made a video about actually structuring a wholesaler company, and
I remember that.
Not many people did that, so I took that video, dissected it, and really structured my business around kind of some of those processes. And then once I did that, like a light bulb went off in my head, like, damn, it's something here. So
it's amazing,
yeah,
man.
so that was about, like, I would say 6 months into the journey.
Dude, it's amazing, bro.
Right.
Like, it's been so dope being a part of your journey and seeing how far you've come. And like legit how close we've gotten over the last couple of months. You know what I mean? Like, we really didn't know much about each other than just being associates in the business, you know?
Right.
And now, like, dude, you helped me make one of my dreams a reality, bro. Like, I got to give you your flowers on this podcast in front of everybody, because this is just, honestly, it means a lot to me that you're going to be on the show, that you are on the show right now, you know? Because, you know, for the last 4 years, and I'll never forget this, I wrote this name down in one of my journals, Jarvis. That was the name. And I just thought of something so cool. And I remember I was watching Iron Man, and I was just like, this would be a dope name for something, you know? And it sat in a journal, written down on a piece of paper for years, man. And then I met you by a total act of God, you know? Like, I don't think you've ever actually messaged me directly before like that, you know? And if we have ever talked, it would always been about like real estate, you know? And so, man, like, guys, if y'all don't know, Don and I co-own a platform. It's called justjarvis.com, and it's an automation software that helps you guys streamline your real estate businesses. And dude, that would not be possible at all if it wasn't for my good friend here, Don, for helping me make something that's been a dream a reality, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're a dream maker, bro. Like, most people don't know how to structure those things, dude.
Yes, sir. I like to call it freedom maker.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You know what really influenced you to want to go that direction? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like building out the systems and processes, people look at that as the most hardest part. They don't even bother, dude. But that's something that like clicks to you, or what is that? What does that come from?
Really, that's just how my mind works. Like, I could think of something and I'm thinking like pictures sometimes. So it's kind of like second nature to me. So I'm also like good at technology. So I pick up on different things and able to connect systems, teams, and processes together.
When did you discover that you had that talent? Is that something that you've always had, even when you were a kid?
I would say so, yes.
And where does that come from? You know, I know that one of the things that you and I talked about was you played sports too, right?
Right.
Were you like structuring plays too, like in the sports realm? You play football, right?
Yeah, I played football.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's where it came from. It came from like watching film and everything too, over and over again, and getting the small things right.
Man, that's amazing, dude. What position did you play?
Defensive end.
I see. Yeah, I was a lineman, offensive lineman.
Okay.
I protect the quarterback, you know? But it's funny, dude. Like, people don't know how much structure is in the game of football.
Right.
There's plays, there's teams. You're looking at people's stats, how much strength that they have, where you can put specific players, where their weaknesses are, where they're the most strongest in what they do. It's a whole ecosystem. It is a whole system, you know? So, like, looking at it and just really seeing it for what it is, because it's a whole play to make, is something not a lot of people know, man. They just see a bunch of people trying to throw a ball from one end to the other. No, man, it's so much more than that. There's science to this, you know? So, bro, like, as you've gone into the real estate space, what do you feel was the most challenging part of systemizing your business?
The most challenging part is, I would say, the people part, putting the right people in the right places, because in real estate, like, there's not too many different ways to do it. So everybody kind of has the same advantage with that, since the playbook is pretty much out there for whichever direction you choose to go with it. But it's just surrounding yourself with the good people to actually carry out the different things that's needed to succeed.
Whenever you build a system, what do you start with? Like, what's the first thing that you start with in your mind?
The first thing I start with is the process of, if it's a already working process, then we just go and automate that and put systems around that. But if it's not, then we go ahead and write down everything that's needed to complete a certain goal.
I see. And as far as like writing those things down, you have this notepad that you've been carrying around with you, man.
It is right here.
Yeah, dude. Talk about that thing. Like,
yeah, so this is my second brain. I pretty much write down everything that comes to my head. It's a quote that I like to use. A short pencil is better than a long memory. Yeah, so that alone it makes a lot of sense to me, and I've been doing this for about like 7 years now, just writing down everything. And originally I had like 10 notepads just laying around everywhere until I got this.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I always see you documenting, even when you and I are just having normal conversations. And you know how I am, man. Like, after a while, I just kind of go off on a tangent,
right,
and I'll completely forget where I'm at, and I'll see you writing things down, tracking things that I'm saying, like putting thoughts into applicable action,
right?
And I think that's something that's a skill set, man. That's a skill set. And most people that I meet, bro, that are in the real estate space, a lot of them aren't systems guys, bro. We're all unorganized, so like we need people who are organized that can help us out. And in turn, it's a whole thing, like think about some of the biggest introverts in this world, bro. They're all billionaires, bro. Elon Musk, introvert. Mark Zuckerberg, introvert. Jeff Bezos, introvert. What do they see? They see a system, and then the system, they make it a reality.
Right.
And then, boom, out of nowhere, it blows up. What do you think that the goal is here within the next 5 years with the skill set that you've been able to adapt throughout the years that you've been doing this? What does the goal look like in 5?
The goal is to give as much people as possible freedom, and that's through my subsidiary companies or different partnerships that I form. Like, I know I can't do it alone if I want to get a wide reach. So that's why I have partners like you that has a passion in a certain direction that's able to get a further reach than I can alone.
And this is huge for you, right? Being on a podcast, this is the first one?
Yeah, first one.
Dude, honestly, bro, you're doing way better than me, man. When I first did this, I swear to you, I was sweating. It was an episode of Today's Investor. I'll never forget it. My friend Marco had called me, and he was like, Q, I want you on my podcast. And no, hold on, let me rephrase that. I said, hey, Q, I want you on my podcast. Because Mark literally had the voice of an angel. If you're reading this, Marco Ramiro, dude, I love you, man. Thank you so much for introducing me to all of this. But I just remember how nervous I was, dude. I was sweating. I didn't know what the hell I was going to say. I felt like everything I said sounded dumb. And now I'm at a point, dude, where I just have so much comfort in it, And so that's why I always aspire, like anybody who gets on the podcast for the first time, like some people, like they do the podcast like it's an interrogation. I never wanted that. I always just want it to be a genuine conversation between two people who are friends that can have a talk about where they want to go in their business, So, dude, it means a lot to have you on my show. Literally, like, this is long overdue.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me too, and I am a little nervous, but
dude, you're killing it, bro. Don't even worry about it, man. When like I said, dude, I think that when you push the boundaries of what is uncomfortable and you make yourself go that far, that's when the real change happens,
Sir.
Whether it's stepping on a podcast or designing a new company or building out a new algorithm or a new workflow that could benefit somebody. There's a risk that is behind that takes courage to accomplish, So, and dude, I mean, it's courageous, bro. And I love it, dude. Like, you didn't just step into this space, right? This had been something that you had been planning for a while, and then you took action.
Yeah.
I know I'm not one of the only guys that you're working with, and that's completely fine. It's super awesome to know that you're diversifying yourself and you're using your skill sets and these God-given talents to take them where you want to go, And I guess, like, when it comes to like the partnership aspect of things, you're a great partner, Don. Like, been working with you, it's been so chill.
Likewise.
Literally, in every way. And to the moon is where we're going.
Yes, sir.
Here within the next 6 months, man. The goal is 100 users on Jarvis for me. And Don's been helping me make it a reality, booking my calendar and getting all these people to sign up. And it's just so awesome seeing people get success. So you guys are watching this. I don't know if y'all know this, but one of our guys, his name's Carter, who's in our Jarvis program, just closed and funded his first real estate deal, made $5,000 using Jarvis.
Yes, sir.
These are systems and processes that Don created, man. And this is what's so amazing about this, dude. So, Don, whenever you decided to just take that step further and you wanted to reach out to people, right, and get people more involved with you, what do you say was one of the hardest things about doing that, like getting yourself out there like that?
Well, I would say getting out of my comfort zone personally. I feel like I have been in my way with that, but now it's full speed ahead. I'm ready to put the message out there and help people as much as I can.
Dude, I see it, man. I see it. How many people do you plan to help within the next year?
Within the next year, probably about 5 partners. If that, I don't want to have too many partners. I want to be lean and impactful at the same time.
I love it, dude. I love it. Whenever you're building out your system and your infrastructure, and like, you know, like obviously taking on partnerships has got to be a difficult thing because you have different branches here. Whenever you're doing that, how do you start? Like, what is the beginning part of that process?
So to begin, it begins with your passion. So if you have something that you love doing, I always like to start with that. And if a partner or a business operator don't know what that is, I like to refer to a diagram which is called Ikigai, and that's a old Japanese philosophy that means a way of being. And
What?
yeah, so that's what that is just the intersection of what you are good at doing, what you love to do, what you could get paid for, and what the world needs. So if you brainstorm through that and figure out what intersects all of that, you got what you a way of being, and that's what that stands for. So we start with that and build a whole ecosystem and a whole structure around that, because if you do what you love to do, your burnout rate will be extremely low.
Dude, describe the perfect funnel, bro. If you don't mind giving some game while we're on the podcast.
So the perfect funnel would start with a concept called ADA, and that's attention, interest, decision, and action. So these are the 4 things that people would then go through in order to complete a purchase on a marketing funnel. So that would start from when you are making your content and sending it out. That's how you would get your attention. So when people engage with that content, that's when you have your interest. So that's them engaging with the content and
like the marketing piece that you throw out.
Right.
It could be like a website link, social media post, XYZ.
Right. Yep. So when they go to the website, or website in this example, and fill out their information, that's how you know when you have interest in the content that you post out. So once you have their information, it's
essentially they're like opting in.
Right.
So there's like a link, and then boom, they're opted in.
Right.
Then the funnel process begins really from there.
Yep. So with that, we like to do automated follow-ups and track each stage of the process, because then you'll be able to see where people drop off from the attention you get all the way down to the action they take at the end.
We've seen that.
Yes.
You've shown me that.
Yep.
I remember the first time that we launched Jarvis, I remember I came up with an idea that I should post this all over social media and that we should just use a Zoom link. And Dom was like, nah, fam, we're going to look at the whole part of the process. So I think you put together a full-blown demo with the video that would track how long they watched it. Then once they got to the video, if they opted in, they would then book like the registration form, which they would then get text message reminders leading up to the day of the actual webinar. And during that time frame, they also have to register for the webinar itself.
Yep.
And I remember I was looking at the number that you were seeing and looking at the number of the people that registered. People didn't register, but they did through the funnel, and then they registered the day of, minutes before the call even began. And I had almost 40 people in that call, and everybody stayed to the end.
Yeah,
because they were interested in Jarvis.
So you're doing that and tracking everything. You'll be able to see each stage of the process separately. So if a number drop off from attention to interest, you'll know it's something that you have to fix in the interest stage to get people more interested in the thing that the thing
like
that's
whatever it is that we're throwing out.
Right.
The webinar could be a seminar, a event, even
right.
a product, service,
and that could be the ad copy that you have, the video or whatever. But keeping track of the numbers will tell you exactly what you need to do.
How much time does it take for you to put all of this together, dude? Because I swear to you, you and I have popped stuff off day before. You know, and obviously that is not ideal, right? But, you know, most people like myself, man, and I know that you are going to experience this, if not, you've already experienced this. Most of us that are at this level where we're throwing out content, we're doing all these podcasts, we're very extroverted, bro. So, like, we meet people and then we're best friends. We're family. We're already planning vacations on spontaneous things, right? And so, like, you know, whenever I have an idea done, I sometimes feel bad because I didn't realize it until after the fact that I just threw something on you, right? And I'm just like, man, you know, dude, you know, it'd be dope if we did a webinar tomorrow at 12. And you're like, tomorrow at 12, you know? So I guess, like, what are the pros and cons in that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, how long does it take for you to set up a funnel like that? And ideally, what's the time frame that you would like? And how do you pull it out so fast when it's literally 24 hours till?
So that's the good thing about doing what I do is that it's always... You do things once, document it, and then you could do it many more times. So that's the main thing about having a system and a structure is that it's easier to do it the second time around. You can customize it and everything from there, but it's already there from the foundation.
I see. And so document, but what isn't there like a saying for this? It's document, record, something. I forgot what it is. My mentor told me this a long time ago, Don, but basically, like, whenever you're looking at the systematic approach to a business, you should always document it and draw it out. Draw out the process first, and then record the process. And then the third part is to archive the process and put it somewhere where you know that it's tracked and still there. I have flows drawn out for my company that I never even really put into action other than just that's where they stayed because I wanted to record everything that was being done. Even training regimens and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, dude, it's honestly amazing, bro. Like, really seeing everything that you've built and seeing it come to fruition. I had no idea that there was so much power in structuring things. Like, you really don't miss out on things this way. And even if you do, you have a centralized database to just one click of a button touch everybody. You know what I'm saying? What's the goal when you begin systemizing a business? Like, typically, like, let's say, like, there's a process and then there's a system, right? Like, what is the goal for that process and system? Or is it different for every single person you come into contact with?
Mostly it's different for everybody, but the goal is an acronym I call SYSTEM, which is saving yourself time, energy, and money. So that is the goal for everything of what I do is just saving people that so they can focus on what they love to do. So it's different versions for everybody, but the same foundation.
Dude, God, fire, bro. Say that again.
SYSTEM, saving yourself time, energy, and money.
I've never heard that before, man. I man, we got to staple that, dude. If you're watching this and you're my editor, please clip that because that's just fire. I think that what you do, Don, is just so, like, astronomical, man. Like, truthfully, dude, because most of us are so unorganized. Like, legitimately, I didn't feel like I had a coaching business until I met you. And I think that that's a blessing to be able to say. So the fact that you're able to do that for people is crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Getting yourself out there right now, dude, for, like, the people that are introverts that are watching this right now, man. Like, you know, what would you say to that person who maybe might even be that same type of dude who can put things together for people, but they're just not trying to talk to people? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's a challenge in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're fully introvert, unless you want to claim it on a podcast. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I have a lot of respect for you, dude. I really do. And so, like, but I've also seen that you're very, like, conservative on who you work with, you know, and I think that that's a great thing. You know, as somebody who could be watching this, an introvert right now, what advice would you give to that person to get out of their shell and build that thing?
I would say just do it. A quote that helped me get started is you never know everything that you need to know, so get started. So that's a quote that helped me get started, and it's basically just embracing the unknown. It's going to be some things that you run into, but as long as you keep going and keep navigating your way through it, you'll be all right. Just put yourself out there and see what happens.
You really never know too, man. Like sometimes I throw stuff out there, bro, and I don't even know.
All right.
And it just happens, and I meet people. I posted on Facebook like 7 months ago that I needed somebody who could help me build out a CRM. And Don was one of the guys that messaged me. And one of the main reasons why I went to him too is because we had worked together previously in coaching stuff. You know, like you had already been doing the real estate business. I remember I had a really cheap program out there. You said, to hell, let's try it out. And you were in it for like 6 months with me, like really going through it. And you took whatever you learned and applied it and closed a bunch of deals on your own. And it's just like, it's crazy, bro. Like when you messaged me, I was just relieved kind of that it was somebody that I was familiar with, but I had no idea that you've been doing this stuff, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yeah.
And that's been a crutch for me too. So changing that now.
I see it, man, and I embrace it, bro. It's crazy, you know. When it comes to building like the brand and where it is that you want to go with this, man, like what is your goal within the next 5 years for your brand?
So the goal is, like I said, to give everybody, as much people as I can, the freedom and the infrastructure, and giving them the resources they need in order to focus on what they love to do.
Do you think that what you learned in football bleeds into what you're doing right now?
Definitely it does.
What parts of it?
So in football, it's a big quote that the game is 10% physical and 90% mental. So that's one big part. Another big part is the structure and discipline that's needed in order to actually run a business.
You know, I appreciate that so much, bro. I remember one time I came in here and I was like working out, and you were like, so we working out? I was like, yeah, let's go, man. I wasn't expecting it, man. You know, but we started moving the weights and everything, and I just thought that was so cool, dude. Like, for real.
Yeah.
And not many people are down to just get down in the dirt like that. We weren't even wearing gym clothes. You just saw me pumping away, man. I'm always in the gym, and Don was like, hey, man, you lifting, I'm lifting. Let's go.
Never a bad time to get money in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. With the systems and processes, what has this helped you with in the organizational skills of just your modern everyday life outside of business? Outside
of it, because it's a muscle, training your brain to like think this way. So it helps me. I would say just that's a good question.
Like overall organization, like are you just as organized like this in your personal life?
Actually, no, not really.
It's all good.
Yeah, but it does help.
It does, you know, like I think everything's a system, man. You know, I promise you, Don, one of the things that I learned from you was how important a calendar was. Like legitimately, you know, because I have multiple calendars that Don's created for me. And Don always tells me that, like, you know, what did you tell me before? You said they got to be organized, right? And I remember you mentioned this, like you said the deals are in the follow up, and it's not just a real estate quote. I always saw that, and I thought about it as a real estate quote, right? And you mentioned like we got to create a system so that people don't stop seeing you. And my calendar's been booked out, bro. Like Monday through Friday. I promise you guys. Like if you're watching this right now, and you're in the sales space, you're in like an appointment setting space, or you're in just some type of high ticket offer or even a low ticket offer, bro, like legitimately Don has helped me fill my calendar, bro. Like, and I think that that's the most organizational part that I've learned from all of this is how important time blocking and having a calendar is. Like legitimately, Don doesn't even know this, man, but I just closed a coaching client literally like this morning. I got a wire for $5,000 and it's in the same funnel of AW Mastermind, the funnel that Don helped me build. And so, dude, like it's crazy, Don. It really is, man. And, you know, like I know that we have so many different things that we're coming out with and all these different types of products, even just within the Jarvis realm, dude, you know, but what's the next big thing for you, dude? Like, what do you think that where do you see this going? Like, what's the next big thing? Is there another product, another service, another system, another software?
So, yeah, the next big thing is either buying, going into like kind of mergers or acquisitions with this as well, but also having a freedom factory to where I can help people in developing their business, their structures, and giving them the resources they need in order to thrive and keep continuing to grow.
Does it matter what kind of business they have?
No, it doesn't.
So this same system applies to everything?
Yep.
Is there a formula that is to this, that's universal throughout the whole thing? Yeah. I guess the universal truth.
Yeah. First, you got to have a GPS to where you're going. And this is usually guided by your Ikigai. But GPS is your goals, your plans, and your strategies. And once you have your GPS set, you got to watch out for the signs that you see when you're on the way to go to where you're trying to go. And the signs are KPIs, and KPIs are key performance indicators, which tracks your numbers. So once you have that, you'll then see that the different things that you need to do in order to meet those goals. So that's something that's universal while you're building your empire.
Dude, bars, literal bars. People don't know, dude. I mean, seriously, if you're watching this, you got to replay what my dude just said right there. I spent a year in the gym, a year and a half actually, not knowing what the hell I was doing. Literally, I would just go. At the beginning, I built the discipline, so there was the consistency factor that was there. So I loved it. I appreciated the consistency factor, but I knew that wasn't going to get me anywhere.
Right.
You might go to the gym, but if you ain't structuring your workout, if you ain't counting your reps, your sets, if you don't know what your hormone levels are, if you don't know your overall organ health is, if you don't know what your BMR is, your basal metabolic rate, nor do you know what your skeletal bone mass, if you don't know what that is either, guys, like all of these are numbers. They're literal numbers, right? And so like legit, the biggest breakthrough that I ever had was when I paid a trainer to help me track my macros, how much food I was consuming, the quality of the food that I was eating, the people that I was meeting in the gym, their workout regimens weren't working for me because they weren't for me. They weren't for me. And so literally, dude, I had a guy tailor a whole meal plan around me. I got into hormone therapy. Then I got my blood work done and started taking different types of vitamins to help my overall organ health get better. My kidney and my liver were tarnished with the amount of creatine intake that I was taking. I didn't know that creatine was slowing down me losing weight. Another thing that people don't know. Creatine slows down the metabolism. But why don't we know this? Is because the KPIs aren't in front of us. Right. And without those KPIs, we don't know the outcome. With the KPIs and knowing the numbers, it's just a simple tweak and you could be in the right direction again. That's what I've learned, man.
Yes,
and I think that's valuable for anybody that's listening to this, dude. Tracking KPIs and key performance indicators. Most people don't know how to do it, dude. Right. What's the best way to do it? What's the best way to go about tracking what you're doing, Don?
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with spreadsheets, but I would say that's the best way, honestly, to track everything that you're doing.
Yep. Yeah. Do you use like a software system?
Yes.
Multiple?
Yeah, multiple. But the main thing that like base all the information and keep it kind of organized is the spreadsheets, Google Sheets.
Out of all the CRMs that are out there, because what do we have? We have Monday.com, we have Go High Level, we have Podio, right? Between these three, which one is the best one in your opinion?
In my opinion, Go High Level. And I was probably one of the first 5,000 people to join Go High Level, so I might be a little biased with that. But it's been the thing that helped me get my own freedom.
I think it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You know, right now, Don and I are building out like a passive income machine, but this thing is barely taking off, and it's crazy what it's helping people do.
Yeah. You
know, and there's so much automations that are behind it and so many different... There's a lot of psychology when it comes to building a funnel, bro. I've also learned that too.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, it's been amazing. Seeing you do it though is crazy, bro. It's like seeing a fish in water, bro. Like legit, it's like you were always meant to do it, you know? Dude, for somebody who's watching this right now, because we're going to go ahead and land the podcast, right. What is one piece of advice that you would give to that one person who's struggling right now in their business, who doesn't know what direction that it's going, who's lost track of everything, who isn't following up on anything? What would you tell that person right now?
I would first say stop, because you don't want to go too far in the wrong direction. Figure out what it is, the silver lining that is to what you love to do. Focus all your time, energy, and resources into that. And like I said, find out your GPS, your goals, plans, and strategies, and figure out what actionable steps you need in order to get to where you're going with your GPS. And those things will help you then figure out which direction to go into. So to go a step further then is to surround yourself with the right people and give yourself that leverage in order to continue to do what you do.
Would you say getting around the right people has helped you out a lot?
Yeah, definitely.
Putting yourself in rooms like that's hard, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're very selective on who you have around you.
Yeah.
You know, so what broke you out of that shell to finally say, you know what, we're doing this?
Meeting you was a really big step for that. So
you're gonna make me cry, bro. Stop. that touched me right now. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
That means a lot. And I try as hard as I can to really just be as impactful as I can.
You
know what I'm saying? Thank you, bro. Thank you. And it means a lot, bro. Thank you for saying that. Dude, Don, you're a testimony, bro, to like what courage looks like, my friend. And I'll give you your flowers on this podcast. I know that this is tough, but you did it, bro. You did it. And I thank you so much for being on my podcast. Thank you for just helping me build out an amazing system, helping me make all of my businesses organized, and really putting me in contact with something I felt like was missing, bro. You know, and just seeing it all the way through with me, bro, through all the nicks, tricks, and things that we've had to go through to like really fine tune this thing. Like, I credit a lot of my success that I've had lately to you, my friend.
Only the beginning.
Yes, sir. Only the beginning. So guys, if y'all are interested in scaling y'all's business up, I promise you, look no further. Don is that dude. All right. Thank you so much, Don, for being on my podcast.
Thank you.
Let's get it. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace out.
I want the check.